The SLRMagic 35 creates character more in line with an old vintage lens. I'll be showing you lots of real-world results. I'll be commentating over some of them for my remarks, but as usual, it's up to you to decide what you like and don't like. Starting off with the flare test, you can see these beautiful halo-like rings that appear. You'll be happy to know they can be removed when stopping down to around f1.4. One of the most notable characteristics of the flare is this beautiful deep red circle that seems to appear. It looks fantastic and I literally cannot get enough of it. When stopping all the way down, you'll realise all these small green elements will appear in frame. You'll be happy to hear that the 21mm version of this lens actually produces a very consistent looking flare to this 35mm. One of the other biggest characteristics of this lens is the bokeh. From edge to edge, it's very noisy and overcorrected, while the center of frame it becomes a little bit more tamed. This is a consistent look even with the 50mm. However, like most lenses, when stopping down to f2, that overcorrection completely cleans itself up, and it almost becomes dreamlike and incredibly creamy. These results here show just how, even at the edge of frame and center of frame, how creamy it becomes at around f2. I might get a lot of flack for saying this, because I'm not really into creamy lenses, but the image on screen now I think is probably one of the creamiest lenses I've ever used. It somehow manages to look defined, yet so soft when down at f2. This lens produces lots of internal reflections, so it flares at pretty much any angle where the light will hit it. There's these beautiful rainbows and red elements, as you can see on screen. But do know that those little halo rings you see there will appear on small light sources like lampposts, so you will need to stop down to around f1.4 to remove them. And this shot here just goes to show wide open how textured this lens is from edge to edge and even in the center when wide open. This shot here does a great job at showing you how creamy the background looks at f2, but as I open up the aperture wide open like here, this lens does a phenomenal job at just making the background explode, and because the edges are so overcorrected, it gives the center of frame this interesting sense of isolation, because everything around the center of frame is so messy, and I find it just helps draw my eye to the center. Close focus isn't the sharpest when wide open on this lens, but like most vintage lenses, it kind of comes with the caveat that you get a really nice roll off and fall off to the focus when focusing so close. This lens here is actually a Sigma Art 35mm HSM EF variant. I threw this in here for a real quick test because I really wanted to see what the bokeh looked like, and to me Sigma Arts are probably the most affordable but modern and high quality lenses you can buy for their respective price. Sigma lenses generally tend to do quite a good job at having overall neutral bokeh, never too overcorrected, never too soft. I know this 35 isn't the softest bokeh ever. It gets a bit busy when you start to get to further focuses, but it's amazing to see how creamy the SLR Magic looks in comparison. This here is also a good example of the slight swirl you get when focusing at longer distances. It's subtle, but it is there. See at the corner of frame just how textured the bokeh is when wide open. Stopping down really softens it up. This is a small transition going now into F2. These are some more normal examples of just how unbelievably wonderful the roll-off is on the focus and how much the background explodes when going close on this 35mm. The roll-off is soft, a bit smudgy and smeary looking, but it looks fantastic. This lens does produce quite a lot of chroma, which gives it quite a bloomy effect for foreground objects. But when stopped down, it can be controlled, and like always, flaring on the top left of screen. If you're new to lenses, you might consider this poor performance, but trust me, I've spent significantly more on lenses and had this result, because this result you're seeing on screen here is character, and character is completely personal preference. Again, this lens flares like crazy. You've just got this veiling glare appearing. This shot here gives you that slight sense of swirly bokeh. It's subtle, but you get that sense of a slight swirly skew way in the background. When comparing the two, you can see how much softer the background is and just how much the lens brightens up once it hits around f2. You can see how much contrast there is, and the roll-off is sort of a little bit less smudgy, but the background is much cleaner. I hope you guys and girls have enjoyed this video. Normally I would go through the design and known issues about the ergonomics and the physicalities of the lens, but this video is already long enough, and to be honest, if I wanted to do that, this video would only take even longer to get finished, and I do just want to get these results out there to hopefully start helping people. Do know though, these lenses are not perfect. They are known to have decentering issues. My 35, for example, you can't go past infinity when you focus, so if the flange isn't perfect between your lens mount and the lens, you might find that when focusing to infinity wide open, you can tell that you're just not quite able to get it sharp at infinity. Most lenses obviously let you go past infinity. Unfortunately, you can't on these. I hope in future I can add more tests to these videos, such as sharpness and close focus and so many more. Do read the description about that kind of stuff. But I do hope, as they are, this place can become a really great resource for you to come, have a look at a vintage lens, and end the video feeling like you actually know what this lens and the kind of looks and character that this particular lens brings to the table. So no more guessing, no more thinking, no more scrolling forever for sample images of what a lens looks like. You can come here, see a lens, leave knowing what kind of look that lens actually produces and how it might fit within your set or for your next project. So I hope this will essentially help videographers, cinematographers, young or professional, find their next unique lens.